The following is a Michigan Sesquicentennial Year presentation.
That little dog right there belongs in the list with Apple Pie, Mom, and the Flag. The Beagle is the #1 favorite of dog lovers in this country, a #1 favorite of rabbit hunters, too. Those Beagles love to chase the rabbits. We love to eat rabbits. We have a great rabbit recipe and sour cream coming up. Outdoors Forever, talk about pier fishing, a lot more, so stay tuned. I'm Fred Trost, going to take you snowshoe rabbit hunting because it's Thursday night, time for Michigan Outdoors.
Come on, Pete. Okay, we probably want to start out somewhere.
Winter in the north. Conditions look ideal for hunting the rabbit we find in the northern forest. Actually, a hare, a snowshoe hare. It's a bit larger than our southern cottontails. Snowshoes have large hind feet. You can see their tracks paralleling the spruce trees here. These long tracks show that they've been running along here. A lot of that activity happens at night. Snowshoes prefer to hide under the thick spruce boughs, especially when they come down to the snow level. These red pines aren't anywhere they spend much time because foxes, hawks, and owls can spot them on the ground.
Now what we'll do is we can let him go here, or let a couple of them go here, and then Aaron, take yours. You and Tim take them back to where the.
Bob Garner and his crew of hunters lay out their plans for working these clearings. The thick stands of spruce, well, that's left to the Beagles. Beagles, America's favorite breed as a family dog, and as a rabbit hound, they're tops. Not known for their obedience, they love to hunt, and when they're turned loose, that's all they have on their minds.
Yeah. Go get them. Come on.
There they go, heading right for the cover where their instincts tell them snowshoe hares are sitting. Noses to the ground, they're quiet. So are the hunters, waiting, listening for the signal that a hot track is found. Beagles check every bit of likely cover. Their short legs let them crawl through the brush piles and follow the tracks wherever the rabbits can go. It's their noses that are so miraculous. Somehow they can smell a rabbit track on the snow even if it's a half hour or more old. If they come across the scent of another dog, well, they leave their calling card. It's sort of a courtesy to let the world know they're working this area too. But most of their attention is focused on hunting. They pick up the slack by running through the clearings and slowing down to work the thickets and stands of spruce. And when they hit a track, the whole world hears about it.
There's another one right in front of the dog.
Times like this, you look all around. The rabbit could pop out way ahead of the dogs, and predicting where it's going to happen is the big trick.
There it is. Right down. Right in the side of the road.
It happens fast. O.J. scrambled on the camera and zoomed into the snowshoe sitting still. Now, in case you missed it, let's look at it again in slow motion. You can see the rabbit in the upper left towards the end of the road. It's a small, darkish critter that bounds across the clearing, stopping in a small fallen treetop.
There it is.
And if you're not looking that direction while hunting, you'd easily miss seeing it. And speaking of easy misses, a classic miss. Let's take a look at that again in slow motion. We can see that this snowshoe hare hasn't changed its color all the way yet. Its white winter coat is still coming in, replacing this brown summer fur. Untouched by the shot and more concerned about the dogs, the snowshoe bounds into the spruce. You think it made it to safety? Well, a fox, coyote, hawk, or owl could easily be waiting and will probably get this rabbit within the next few months. Now, here's another glimpse at a snowshoe. Now, it happens fast. Well, okay, it's another miss. You can see this snowshoe between the hunter's shoulders. Both hunters were ready, they saw it, and we have another classic situation. Who fired that shot? Both of them at the same time. But despite all the missing, we do bag a rabbit now and then. To us, one major attraction of rabbit hunting is the tasty, tender meat, which we cook up in recipes much like chicken. As for the beagles, what is it that compels them to chase rabbits? Well, they never catch them, they just chase them. Well, whatever it is, beagles are a wonder. When a rabbit hunter says he's taking his buddy hunting, he's probably talking about his beagle, one of the most enthusiastic and friendly hunting partners you'll ever find in Michigan outdoors. Some good fishing to be had, some big fish to be had that could put you in the trophy book. This is the kind of walleye we were trying to catch from Muskong Bay last week. 11.5 pounds. Bernard Balicki from Gatesville caught it from Muskong mid-January. Proves they're there. Distinctive bars on the side. Tiger muskie, 45 inches, 20.5 pounds. Carl Hawkins from Upton speared it in Ogemaw County's George Lake. An inland lake trout. Torch Lake produced this 18.5 pounder through the ice on a Swedish pimple for Gene Altonen from Elk Rapids. A nice spring catch, this Great Lakes brown trout was caught by Dave Shreve from Carlin. Took a trolling a jointed Rapala off Benzie County in April. Another April catch, a freshwater drum or sheep's head, 11.5 pounds of tasty fish when it's boiled. John Kulak from Canton took a trolling in Lake Erie on a Hottentot. In the whitetail category, Jim Horn from Royal Oak shows off his 10-pointer with a 20-inch spread. He took it the third day of the season in Sheboygan County. Livingston County produced this wide rack, 22 inches across, 10 antler points, made Brad Elliott from Howell a happy hunter this past season. And here's Darrell Frick from Pier. His 10-point with a 23-inch spread and a 12-inch tine featured on stage last year at our Stroh's Hunting Awards banquet. Tines? Oh, this one right here.
Yep. Yep.
What kind of story goes with this?
There I was.
There I was. Okay. Not too free with the advice, huh, Darrell?
What can I say?
It's his first deer?
Yep.
Well, congratulations.
Yep.
Have you deer hunted before this?
Yep, every year, ever since I've been 12.
No kidding. How many years is that? Must be
27,
12, 13, about
15.
15 years. 15 years, his first deer. I think it's time he broke in with a big buck. Darrell Frick, congratulations. Boy, that's a nice deer. 12-inch tines. That's our Stroh's Hunting Awards banquet. Comes up February 21st, a night you can see and hear the big winners like Darrell Frick in our live on-stage trophy book.
Missouri deer hunters smashed their 1985 total and set a new record by taking over 100,000 deer. But the best news is that the Grim Reaper scored a big fat 0. Not one single hunter death was recorded.
Too often the subject of guns comes up in the headlines in our newspapers in relation to our kids in Detroit, in relation to hunting accidents. You know, the state of Missouri seems to have cracked through with some type of solution on this that's different than we've been taking in Michigan. Bob Garner has some comments.
Nobody will argue that there is a need for kids to learn gun safety before they're allowed to hunt. Michigan has required it of youngsters since 1971, and it has helped to reduce hunter accidents dramatically. Besides requiring hunter safety, kids can't hunt in this state until they're 12, they can't hunt deer with a gun till they're 14, and they have to hunt with an adult till they're 17. Now, all of these laws are designed to make the woods safe. But here comes the state of Missouri. They don't require any hunter safety. They let kids hunt at any age, and even 9 or 10-year-olds can hunt alone if they've passed an optional hunter safety course. And the funny thing is, Missouri's rate of gun accidents caused by young hunters is the envy of most of the states and provinces of North America. In fact, in the 1986 hunting season, Missouri had not one single gun accident that caused a death. So who should get credit for this success? Well, according to Missouri's hunter education specialist, most of the credit should go to the schools. 80% of Missouri school systems have hunter safety as a part of their curriculum, and all 5th and 6th grade students must attend. It makes the kids that hunt safer, and it helps those that don't hunt to better understand guns and hunting. In Michigan, we have a system of hunter safety based in law and regulation. In Missouri, their dedication to hunter safety is as fundamental as reading, writing, and arithmetic. And in my opinion, that's far more effective.
We have a plethora, is that the word, Bob, of hunting and fishing laws in this state?
Yes, we have a ton of them.
A ton of them is what I meant to say. Sometimes they're very confusing to us as well as our viewers. We have a letter in our mailbag from Joe McDivitt from Livonia. He says, if I send in for a doe permit and don't receive one, is it legal for me during the rifle season to take my bow to my blind, as well as my rifle, and shoot a doe with my bow and arrow, then a buck with my rifle?
Absolutely not. You cannot shoot a doe under anything but a gun deer license during the gun deer season with the doe permit. Your bow permit or your bow license is not valid during the gun season.
Not valid at all. In fact, that bow license is suspended during gun season, and you can only use a bow with your firearm license as one of your choices of weapons to use.
Another letter here from Hazen Snell of Union Lake writes and says, I can remember some years ago at the foot of the Woodward Avenue, a huge sewer emptied into the Detroit River. Does the city of Detroit still run its sewers into the river?
I have to be, yes, they do, but no, they don't put the sewage in like they used to because they've done additional processes. Here's a riverfront down on
right underneath
Detroit
the
River,
Ambassador Bridge.
Right under the Ambassador Bridge. A new fishing site has been putting in, or a boat launch. Tell you, the water in the Detroit River is fine, fit as a fiddle.
Well, they always joke about it being the world's biggest trout stream, but the walleye fishing is tremendous.
It is. So, yes, the sewers go in there, but not with the stuff that used to be in it. That's been taken care of, and that's why the fishing is good. That's a darn good fishing hole. Now, back to the subject of hunting. See if you can answer this question in our outdoor quiz.
Cottontail rabbits are often seen working their noses as they sniff the wind. Is a rabbit's sense of smell an important defense against predators? Detecting predators by their odor is not very important to rabbits, according to Leonard Leroux III. The rabbit's huge ears make hearing its #1 defense, followed by its eyesight. Then, its sense of touch that picks up vibrations from the ground.
Michigan is tremendously unique. We have 3,600 miles of Great Lakes shoreline, Roger, all around our state. We have inland lakes, lots of good fishing. But for people like you who use wheelchairs, senior citizens, kids,
Mobility problems.
a lot of this shoreline is inaccessible. What's the answer? Pier fishing. Let's take a look at some footage that I took back in 1978, Roger, of a fellow down at Benton Harbor, St. Joe. He drove there from Schoolcraft. His name is Kerry Robertson. Temporarily disabled, he had a severe knee injury. His doctor said, get off your feet, you can't work your construction job, stay on your back. Well, he says, next best thing down my back is sitting out there fishing.
Right.
This was in the spring, a time when the brown trout, the salmon, the steelhead come in close to shore. Benton Harbor is a good place to go, like many, and he rigged up on the side of his director's chair a couple little PVC pipes that were adjustable. He could put his fishing rods in there. Then he could really relax, which is one of the really enjoyable things about pier fishing. Very relaxing, and it doesn't take much equipment at all. Here we have a hook with a swivel, a slip sinker to get your bait down on the bottom. There's the bait he was using, spawn. You can use worms, crawdads, wigglers, all kinds of things for bait, or throw artificial lures if you want. But pier fishing is relaxing because you can cast it out, let the sinker sit on the bottom. If the fish comes up and grabs it, let him run a little bit, set the hook, and have a battle.
What a day.
Yeah, you can have a great day on the piers. Here, as I was talking to Kerry, there's a fellow right down the way. He netted one. That's another great thing about pier fishing. Action, up and down the pier. You see somebody with one, you run down there, and you can socialize.
You're happy you got yours and you like to see him get his.
Yeah, you know, in boat fishing, you see another boat maybe catch a fish, but you can't run down and chat with it. But here you can on a pier. Availability of piers is a big bonus. Now, these piers, obviously, it's not kept in real good repair. But we have piers all around our state, in the Great Lakes especially, as break walls, you know, for boats to protect the water for boats.
Get a double purpose out of it.
We could have so much better fishing for a lot of people on these piers. You can see the shape of it. Look, there's snow piled up there. The rocks are all tattered and chipped and jagged. A person in a wheelchair could not get out this far on this pier.
And yet it wouldn't take too much to have that fixed for him to get out there.
It wouldn't. And consider, you know, the fact that piers are always available. They're there 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and it's just almost a crime in this state that they're so inaccessible. The bathroom facilities are often in the sand, if they're open at all. You know, no plans to have anybody, especially an older fellow or somebody in a wheelchair. I mean, they have to use a restroom somewhere. They can't get to them on the piers. The parking lot is often too far away, or there's some big ruts or gouges or rocks that make the pier inaccessible. We've got to change that, Raj.
Even for the older folks, you know, the parking being a long distance, and they
Oh,
got to
yeah.
carry all that stuff out there, so they say, I'm not going to go.
The repair of this pier, you can see how if it was icy, windy, with water blowing up there, it would be dangerous. You know, if it wasn't, if there were railings and if these piers were renovated and built properly, kids could be out there, it would be safe, productive. You know, we saw a lot of fish being caught right here, but much of the year in many areas of the state and piers, there's no fish management done around the piers, but there could be. We could put reefs out there. We could have fishing off piers that would top anything.
Well, like the one up in Houghton Lake, where we're trying to save the South Shore.
That's what we want to do, is put a pier somewhere on Houghton Lake to make that fishing accessible. There's so many things, the safety, boy, look at that. To me, we got to fix up these piers. We got to make them available more. We got to build some. We got to do some fisheries management around them.
Yeah.
Don't you think that'd be great for handicappers and seniors and families?
For everybody.
For me, too.
Yeah, all of us.
I mean, 'cause
but it's
I'm-
not that hard to do.
Oh,
Just
it
take a
isn't.
tunnel vision, take a look at it, and
Most
go
people,
ahead.
it seems, in fisheries management are boat-type people, or they're young folks, and they can scramble on those rocks. We'll get those fixed up. That's my pet project this year in Outdoors Forever, is to develop pier fishing in this state, maybe get one put out on Houghton Lake and make it something that, hey, I tell you, it's going to be some of the greatest fishing in the state. It's going to be found from piers, mark my words. Got an article in the Digest about this. We'll talk about this at the Central Michigan Sports Show in Lansing, where you'll be there, Catherine.
We'll be there with probably the biggest collection of adapted equipment for handicappers you've ever seen.
Gonna be a good one. Mark that down right now on the outdoor calendar.
All 10 finalists and their spouses will spend the weekend of April 11th, 12th, and 13th at Lost Arrow Resort near Gladwin. The top 2 winning couples will stay in the luxury suites with hot tubs and water beds. Gourmet wildlife chef Pat McGuire, who is also a judge in the cook-off, has some special plans in the restaurant for the weekend.
Oh, they're in store for a lot of fun, and I think I am too. What I'm going to do is I'll have their meals all planned out for them in advance, and I'd like to take them on a tour of the kitchen, kind of show them. Some of them might not have ever been in a restaurant kitchen before. We're set up very well. We have a lot of room back there, and I want to show them some little tricks of the trade that they can use right at home. For instance, taking an onion and
For my money, this could easily be a winner. Last year it was judged as one of our runners-up, which we selected for the Digest. Rhonda Hagwood sent us a recipe for rabbit and sour cream. I'll tell you.
It is excellent.
Oh, and it's a simple recipe, and Bob got the best piece to start off with. He got that back right there.
With a lot of meat on it.
Oh, it has, and it's so tender,
Just
just excellent.
Actually, the loin almost.
And there's the front legs attached to some of the back. You have to wrestle with those a little
Not
bit
much
more.
fat on this rabbit either.
No, well, oftentimes the bunnies, well,
Look at that meat.
This time of year they
Just
would have more fat.
A lot of meat there.
Oh, the rear legs.
Now this recipe is really simple. It's got flour, seasoned salt, and you can actually see the paprika in the seasoned salt here.
I can't taste it in the recipe.
No, you can't. You can't taste it at all.
That goes into the flour.
Right, and seasoned pepper. And this, it's got paprika in it also. And the hot little peppers. Now this is just a little bit hotter than regular black pepper.
Mm-hmm.
It's got actually several different kinds of pepper in it.
Neither of those have a lot of garlic in it, though.
No, neither one of them do. So it doesn't actually take away from the rabbit at all.
A little bit of salt.
Yep, just plain salt. And you're going to melt your butter, because you're going to brown your rabbit first, and you don't want it to cook thoroughly. And
So
dip
this
it in
is-
the flour.
Just like fried chicken.
Yep.
Fried squirrel.
Oh, yeah, they'd
fried
be good
rabbit.
just like that. Let it cook a little bit like that, and it'd be just excellent.
Maybe put a cover on it and simmer it for a half hour.
Yeah, not too long.
Ooh,
Yep,
there it is.
Just fried. They're very tender, just like that.
Well, you can see with the fork how tender
Yep, it just
that
pokes right
is.
in.
When you overcook game is how you make it tough.
Oh, actually. Yeah, well, the moisture comes out of it. And this is just flour, and you don't want this to burn. You can put it right in the drippings that you browned your rabbit in, and your sour cream. And you want to stir this real quick because it'll burn and actually scald your sour cream. And half. You can see it bubbling.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't take very long at all. And that's going to actually just make a sauce. And it does cook down into a gravy. And just pour that over the top, and it cooks for about 3 hours. You want it to cook very slowly.
At 275 degrees.
Right, in a nice slow oven.
Well, I tell you, Rhonda Hegwood has a winner in this recipe, for sure. That is not overpowering. Well, Bob has cleaned off the back.
Uh-huh.
Look at that. Has that cleaned off all of, that's the loin of any animal.
A
right
lot
along
of
the
meat on that
backbone.
little piece.
I'm surprised I left that much meat on it.
Well,
to
I
tell you the
have a
truth.
feeling you're going to nip it off of there when you pick it up.
I'm going to steal some from Kathy, and I want that last piece. And doggone it, I don't think I could wait 3 hours for this thing to get through cooking.
Isn't
Oh,
that
it
something?
just smells excellent.
I think I'd have to eat too many pieces of it fried, but it is worth the 3-hour wait with the sour cream. It is delicious.
It
The
is.
best rabbit recipe I've ever eaten.
And it's got to be the simplest.
It
I'm
is.
amazed because this was frozen. We made this up, and you froze
Froze it and then
Oh,
thawed
boy.
it to make it, yep.
What a winner. Get your recipes right to us to get your recipe entries in for the contest because you can be a big winner, and it's a lot of fun. That's going to be a great special that we have. Whatever you do, go rabbit hunting, ice fishing. Hey, it's going to be a good weekend. Get outdoors. It's a great place to be. See you next week.
Rabbit in sour cream is a recipe you could use on any small game, or chicken for that matter. It's in the January-February edition of the Outdoor Digest, along with all of our recipes this month. Plus an article by Leonard Lee Rue on deer in the winter, Steve Griffin on panfish, and more, including the Outdoors Forever supplement, which features Fred Trost's ideas on pier fishing, an idea whose time is coming in Michigan outdoors.
As for the beagles, what is it that compels them to chase rabbits? Well, they never catch them. They just chase them. Well, whatever it is, beagles are a wonder. When a rabbit hunter says he's taking his buddy hunting, he's probably talking about his beagle, one of the most enthusiastic and friendly hunting partners you'll ever find in Michigan outdoors.